say that Nietzsche has been a loser for most of his life. Maybe not in his early life when he was made professor, but that he was so ignored by society. And that's where his resentment was channeled. And that's where his lack of power made him focus way too much on power. Maybe this ties into what you were saying about Nietzsche's odd celebrity, that he gathered a lot of people who were, who looked down upon modern age. When I meet Nietzscheans today, it's rarely the blonde beast, right? It's rarely the hyper-successful type. It's usually someone who's like Nietzsche, who's resentful, who's somewhat sickly, who's really been marginalized from society.
Yeah, that's a good point.
On the contrapositive, when I do meet the blonde beast today of society, insofar as there are any left, they're quite content. They don't think about power every day, right? They have that sort of aristocratic indifference.
It's a good point to make, but I don't think it's totally fair to Nietzsche. I don't think he's a creature of ressentiment. I think he does have, in just writing the books he wrote, some sort of aspiration to be transformative in a way that isn't just reactive, but is life-affirming rather than no-saying. I mean, we could both quote passages that confirm one side of Nietzsche rather than the other, but he did have another side, and it's the other side that's more like the realism of Thucydides, rather than the resentment of someone like, I don't know, Hobbes or Demaitre or any of the conservatives, Carl Schmitt or something like that. More like the intuitive insight of Sophocles or Montaigne than the skepticism of someone like Schopenhauer. I think he overcame that kind of skepticism and life-denying impulse. And I think his heroes like Goethe or Montaigne or Shakespeare, that's what keeps Nietzsche going. So I think you're right that there are elements of Nietzsche that are what he would regard as having fallen onto the dark side. But there are many, many other elements that indicate he kept his balance. Right. Not perhaps as well as Montaigne, but not as unbalanced as someone like Schopenhauer.
I see. So maybe to conclude our interview, for our audience back home who agrees with a lot of the diagnoses that you read into Nietzsche about the problems of the day, and who might not just be content in this preservationist project that you said you and I are both partaking, any word of advice, last word of wisdom?
No, I don't think philosophy is in any position to give advice. I mean, you can't give someone something. What philosophy tries to do ever since Socrates is to remind you of things you actually already know and that you don't know that
recalling.
You know. Yeah, recollection is the perfect image for it. So I think what you try to do is engage. I mean, it's like the psychoanalyst again. You can't give somebody an analysis. You can just keep talking until some light goes on. And it's a source of great inspiration that when you're teaching a class, when the light goes on, you see it. You see it happen.
Right.
That's enough to keep you going.
Thank you, Professor.
Sure.
I hope this makes some of our audience's light go on. I appreciate it.